I mean, what's one more year of multi-million-dollar losses? I thought Angel Reese was the star of stars, the icon of icons. That's what the mainstream media keeps telling me. Headline at Forbes from last month. How Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are leading the WNBA's growth.
Angel Reese just found out her WNBA had fewer viewers than a cable access chess tournament in Nebraska. And let's just say she did not take it well. While Caitlin Clark was out here breaking TV records like she's the Beyoncé of basketball, Angel's ratings showed up like a silent disco on mute. What happened? Why did America collectively change the channel? Buckle up, because this isn't just a flop. It's a spectacular slow-motion popcorn-worthy crash. Let's get into.
You've got a basketball player, you've got a celebrity that, or somebody that thinks she's a celebrity, that happens to be a basketball player. All right, but she's not celebrity enough to actually pack in the stands. And guys, there is some ugly numbers.
Angel Reese stormed onto the WNBA preseason court with the swagger of someone who thought she was Beyoncé headlining Coachella, only to realize the only people watching were bored janitors, two birds stuck in the rafters, and a confused popcorn vendor, who thought this was a monster truck rally. In a world where eyes are everything, Reese somehow managed to become invisible on national television. Not metaphorically, literally invisible, because nobody was watching.
Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd. Now, to her credit, it is a nicely polished turd. It almost looks appealing. Almost. Of course, it's still not appealing enough to generate profit, but I guess the WNBA is taking baby steps.
First stop on the Ghost Town Tour, the preseason matchup between the Chicago Sky and Brazil's national team down in LSU. You'd think that between the Brazilian flair, Reese's college fan base, and the whole I'm Her energy, it would be a packed affair. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The TV ratings for that game were so low they made dial-up internet look fast. Entire continents tuned in less than they do for paint drying competition. NASA had more eyes on Mars rover footage that day. The broadcast could have been replaced with a screensaver of a bouncing DVD logo, and it probably would have generated more excitement.
All of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar. Oh my God, transcendent. Oh my goodness, generational. Oh my goodness, so on and so forth. You guys do all the talking, all the yapping. Twitter fingers turn to can't even show up and buy ticket fingers.
Fast forward to Game 2 of the preseason. Chicago Sky vs Minnesota Lynx. This was supposed to be the Reese redemption arc, her look at me now moment. Instead, it was look at me please. Anyone? A couple of pigeons flew overhead during warm-ups and left because it was too boring. Reese was expecting fireworks and confetti. She got chirping crickets and one disinterested blogger live tweeting from a Wendy's. Even the scoreboard was.
Look, one of the biggest stories to come out of this game is you're playing one of the considered to be top 4 teams in the league, the Minnesota Lynx, and nobody showed up to watch this game. All right? Again, 5 million Instagram followers do not equate to basketball fans.
One point, the camera panned across the stands, and it felt like a scene from a horror movie. Rows and rows of empty seats echoing like a forgotten ghost town. Somewhere in a basement, a network executive stared at the Nielsen numbers and quietly began Googling how to fake your own death. And yet, Ree didn't take it well. Oh, no. She didn't. Just shrug it off with grace and humility. She went nuts. Not Michael Jordan fuel, the hate into greatness. Nuts. More like reality TV villain in a 3-part reunion special. Nuts. There were passive-aggressive posts, cryptic emojis, and enough attitude to power an entire Real Housewives season.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Hailey Van Lith up is because it was Hailey Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return.
The irony, she wasn't even bad on the court. Statistically solid, held her ground, and even had a few moments that could have made a decent ESPN reel on a slow news day. But nobody cared. Not because she didn't perform, but because performance doesn't matter when the cameras aren't rolling and the spotlight is pointed somewhere shinier. Welcome to the age of viral moments and 4K highlight reels where substance is nothing without spectacle. Angel Reese blocks a shot in the forest and no one is around to see it. Does it make a sound? Nope. Not even a whisper. Just a thud. A dull, depressing thud as her PR team collectively faints from exhaustion. Their overworked laptops still open on Twitter tabs, desperately trying to spin this into something salvageable. The internet didn't light up. The headlines didn't scream. The crowd, because these days, it's not about the game. It's about the GIF. And if your hustle doesn't translate into meme weather magic in real time, you might as well have stayed on the bench. Invisibility in the digital age is the worst kind of irrelevance, especially when you're actually doing your job well.
Y'all talk a real big game. Y'all talk a real big game. Y'all tell us just how amazing Angel Reese is. Y'all tell us how y'all ride or die with Angel Reese. And you know what? This ain't on Angel Reese. This isn't even about Angel Reese. It's about y'all.
Meanwhile, somewhere far, far away in a parallel universe where people actually watch women's basketball, Caitlin Clark was setting the entire sports world on fire, like she just discovered how to dunk from the three-point line. The Indiana Fever's exhibition game broke records, as in plural. Caitlin didn't just show up, she showed out. Her game didn't just get eyeballs. It practically hijacked televisions. Housewives, plumbers, NBA execs, people who thought the WNBA was a Wi-Fi password. They all tuned in. Clark brought the juice and people came thirsty. The energy was electric. She was like the sports world's version of a viral meme, except instead of just getting likes, she was dropping threes like it was her job, which, spoiler alert, it is. But Angel Reese, oh, poor Angel. Her big moment came and went with all the hype of a wet sock. No one seemed to care. Sure, she had her moment of trash talk, but it was more like a faint echo of Caitlin's full-throttle spectacle. While Clark was dunking metaphorical basketballs from Mars, Reese was still trying to figure out how to keep her sneakers from squeaking too loudly on the hardwood. Talk about a missed opportunity.
And featured Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Felines against the best AAU team from Brazil. The Roo from Waterloo drew 1.3 million viewers, which was a 13% increase over the WNBA's regular season average on ESPN last year. Viewership also exceeded ratings for Game 1 of the WNBA Finals.
Caitlin Clark is out here having her own cinematic universe, and ESPN is struggling to keep up. They had to open up extra digital streams just to handle the insane traffic. Every time Clark makes a move, it's like a Marvel crossover event. Social media explodes. She sneezes and somehow it's trending. Meanwhile, Angel Reese hits a layup and her coach is over there forgetting to clap, likely contemplating the depths of his own existential crisis. But sure, tell us more about how you're changing the game, Angel. We're all ears. Then there's the delusion from Reese's fans. Bless their eternally loyal, misguided souls who've made it their mission to blame everyone except reality. The networks didn't promote it enough, they cry. Yes, because a professional sports league should definitely roll out the red carpet for a rookie who's barely played a real game. It was a bad time slot, they whine, right? Because a 7:00 p.m. game is absolutely the root cause of the ratings apocalypse. Clearly, it had nothing to do with the overwhelming silence and lack of buzz around the whole.
Caitlin Clark is really back, and so is that CC motion. Look, I know I've said before I don't want to talk about repeats, and this topic isn't really brand new, but it feels fresh in a sense because we finally saw Caitlin Clark back out on the basketball.
Here's a fun stat. Caitlin Clark's exhibition game had 1.3 million viewers just for an exhibition. Reese's games couldn't even scrape together the population of a small town. At this point, a live stream of a potato rolling down a hill would outperform her ratings. You know it's bad when minor league curling starts pulling better numbers. But what makes it funnier, truly gloriously funnier, is the contrast. Reese and her crew have built this media persona like she's the main character in a biopic that hasn't been greenlit yet. She's got the glam, the walk, the big talk. She walks into every arena like it's the Met Gala. But when the lights came on and the cameras rolled, nobody showed up to watch the movie. You can dress it up all you want, but if you're performing to an empty room, it's still karaoke night at a sad bar. Caitlin Clark, by contrast, could hold a shoot-around in a barn and still fill it with fans, drones, and probably a few confused deer who just want her autograph. The Fever didn't just break ratings. They set a cultural moment. She's not just playing, she's leading a movement. It's the kind of stardom Ree thought she was owed without doing the heavy lifting.